welcome back to Turntable Guy. On the bench today, and probably the last video for 2021, we have a Yamaha YP-D6 direct drive turntable. This one has come in for speed issues and just basic service. The customer is saying that it's not keeping proper speed, and when he touches the pitch controls, it starts fluctuating wildly. So as you know, that probably has something to do with the pitch controls. I don't think this dust cover's ever been off. It's so tight. There we go. So I guess the question is, who manufactured this? I don't believe Yamaha made this turntable. Just by the hinges and the hinge and the dust cover, and by this anti-skating control here, it looks CEC to me. I know that CEC has made turntables for Yamaha, so this one probably is CEC as well. So it's probably very easy to service and very well built. So let's start off the way we usually do. Beautiful platter, by the way. Very heavy. Nice. Start off with removing our platter and platter mat. This one's probably never been off either. So what we usually do there is we take the back end of a screwdriver, a couple love taps, and off she comes. Yeah, this is definitely CEC, even though it's got the Yamaha stamp. Lovely. And what do we have here? Oil unnecessary here. Well, that's different. It's our auto return mechanism here. It's probably trips when it gets there. It'll start oh, there we go. This way. It'll do its auto return. Let's see. Arm could be a little bit higher. It's banging into the arm lift, or the arm rest here. Maybe we could lower this a little bit. I noticed one thing as well. The cartridge, which looks like a new Audio-Technica ATVM 95E, is not correctly aligned. So if you have a look, if you have an original Yamaha head shell, there's a little dot right there, and that dot should align with the stylus tip. So as you can see, the stylus tip is about 2 or 3 millimeters too far forward. And what a lot of people do is they, I don't know why they put these, they put nuts. This is a mess. What people usually do is, just to get a square alignment, they'll put the cartridge in and it'll either align it all the way up to the front or align it all the way to the back, and you're not getting a correct alignment. Okay, Yamaha states that the cartridge should be mounted with the stylus tip. The very tip of the diamond should be in line with this little dot. So that's what we're going to do. We'll do that a little bit later. And we'll see what's going on with these screws. They put a nut down and a screw down. This is a bit of a mess. We'll fix that. Okay, so to get at these pitch controls, we got 33 and 45 right here. We're going to need to remove the bottom. So in order to do that, we'll put the top back on. I don't like this clamp here. They're very loose. So I'm going to, as you can see, I'm going to tie that down. That's a pain in the butt. Just to protect the arm. Okay. All right, let's we got 1, 2, 3. We got way too many screws to do on camera, so let's pause that and we'll come right back. Okay, all our screws are out. It's a nice thick, it's cardboard, but it's very thick, very well built. Shielding. Big motor, nice design. The boards even state Yamaha, but this is 100% CEC. All right, so what we're going to do here is we're going to look after our pitch controls. And we'll see if we can zoom in a little bit here so we can see them. They are right there, right here. So a little bit of contact cleaner. And you want to work those back and forth. Is that the 45? That's the 33. Very tight. I can't even get my fingers moving them. They're so tight. So I just gave him a shot of neutral there. I do get questions about what contact cleaners I use. So this is MG Chemicals Neutral. And it's about 1/3 the price of Keg Deoxit. And it pretty much does the same job. I'm just working them back and forth. They are very tight. The problem is that most people don't touch your pitch controls. So they just sit in one spot forever. And because of that, eventually, as the contacts start to oxidize, you'll notice your speeds start jumping. And when that happens, you got to give them a little shot. Now, there are other reasons why your speed can fluctuate. You might have a poorly lubricated bearing. You might have an electrical issue. Some of your capacitors on the motor board might be starting to get a little bit wonky. But whenever you have wavering speed, or when it's jumping around, 99.9% of the time, it's going to be just dirty controls. Okay, so that's done. We also have a speed switch here. Is that, just a micro switch on off. And this is undoubtedly a motor switch here. When the arms moved, I believe. Looks like it's constantly off. And then when the arms moved, it probably turns on the main motor. I'm just wondering if we want to have a look at the motor or not. See what kind of lube's in there. You guys see that? Yeah. Let's have a peek. This is it's been I usually don't like to disturb screws that have been painted at the factory, but everything needs lubrication eventually. Let's have a peek and see what resides under here anyway. It's your standard motor, nothing special here. Oh, we have a cracked auto return gear here. You can just see it starting to split right there. That's pretty common. There's our motor. There's quite a bit of oil in there, you know. Smells a little burnt. I think we're going to clean that. We'll put our own lubrication in there. Yeah, it's a little dark and yucky, gang. Not very pretty. So why don't we just clean that? Clean out the bushing here. Clean the spindle. Apply some fresh lube. Give it a proper service. There we go, all cleaned out. Next we will clean our spindle. Just a paper towel. Just give that a wipe. Nice and clean. And there we go. All right, and we'll use some non-detergent 30 weight. A little bit on the spindle. And we'll put that back in. That went in nicely. Yeah, this gear is definitely shot, eh? I think we're gonna have to repair that. It's not too bad that we can't fix it. The crack is right there. It goes all the way through, but we're gonna have to degrease it first. So I'm going to clean off all the grease on this, and then I'll pull it. You can see the crack just there. I'm going to put a little bit of crazy glue, clamp that down, and then we'll put it back in. The problem is that these just shrink naturally. The plastics shrink, and then what'll happen most of the time I found is that you'll put this gear back down, and because it has shrunk, it'll crack again. So in that case, I'll clean the upper spindle here. I'll just put a little dab of crazy glue on there and put it in a position. And I might actually do that from the top so it aligns properly with the auto return mechanism. So anyway, let me just clean this off and then we'll get it glued and clamped. So what I've done here is I've soaked a little bit of 1000 grit sandpaper, and I've put in alcohol, and I've put it in the crack, and I'm just gonna scuff up the inside of the crack a little bit so I can when I do put the glue in there, it's hopefully it's got a little bit something better to stick to, and the alcohol will clean off any grease that's got in there. So, and that's that. So we'll get some glue in that crack and we'll clamp it down. Okay, we got our glue setting up a little bit down the crack there, and got it clamped, and we'll let it sit for a few minutes, let that set up. Like I said, there's no guarantee it's not going to crack as soon as we put it back down on that spindle, but we shall see. Anyway, let's put our motor back. It's spinning beautifully now. So just put that back down. screws. I'm not going to torque them yet. Bring them down a little bit at a time. And there we go. Okay, I'm just going to flip this over real fast and do a quick test to see how our speed is now. Let me zoom back out. I'm not even going to put the base on it. I'm just going to toss it over here. Okay, so I really hate this arm. 33. All right. I know you can't see that. I'll get a strobe disc. There we go. It's a little fast. You want to be looking at the inner ring here. But it looks stable now. Yep, no jumping around. Stupid arm. Oh, now it's going to trigger the auto return. Or maybe it's not. Oh, that's an interesting sound. What's going on here? Oh, there's no gear. Doesn't do well without the gear. The gear is here. So that's going to make all sorts of stupid sounds while it's waiting for the gear to come back. We're just checking speed. Stay, you bugger. I don't even need to have the arm out. This one starts with the press of the button. Okay, let's put this back on here. All right, that's nice and stable. Let's check our 45. I know you can't see 45 because I don't have the... Hmm, 45 is not good. It's still a little wonky. The reason being, not many people play 45s. So I did spray quite a bit of lubricant and contact cleaner in there, so I'm just going to move it around a little bit more. Now it's better. Just needs to be exercised. Yeah, that's stable now. All right, so we're good. 33.45. 33 is really good. There we go. Okay, just like I feared, as soon as I put the gear back down on the spindle, it has cracked again. It's not awful. It's in there pretty good. It sits right at the base. And it's not cracked enough that it's going to affect the performance of these two gears intermeshing with each other. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a little drop of glue in the crack And that will hopefully just keep it down, you know, and just like that. And it won't move. I'm not too concerned about this one, just because of where it sits. So we'll just leave that alone. We'll just let that sit. In the meantime, let's take care of this cartridge situation here. And we're just going to take the needle off first. And we're going to remove these this ridiculous screw situation here. Oh, they're not even in. Oh, man. So they put a nut down for some reason. I have no idea why. I mean, you want the screw to go all the way through. Like that. Unless there's something wrong with those screws. I seriously doubt it. No, there's nothing wrong with this. I have no idea why they did that. Putting these nuts down. This is just a spacer. I can't even get this off now. Oh, man. Let's try holding it with a... Oh, there we go. Sorry if that's not focusing. Okay. So we'll put this one in now. I like these VM95 cartridges because you don't have to screw around with nuts. They have threaded inserts in the cartridge, so all you have to do is put your screw in and you're done. And then you can adjust your alignment very easily without having to mess with nuts and all the rest of it. So this is where we put our needle back on. And like I mentioned, what we're going to want to do is align the tip of the needle with that dot on the head shell. So I'm just going to do that because I can't do it with looking through the camera and all the rest of that, and I'll be right back. Okay, we're all aligned. Oh, sorry, you can't see the dot there. So the tip of the needle, I know it's hard to see there with the angles and stuff, but trust me, it's 100% in line with that dot. So now we're good to go. So we can put that back on. And then we will balance up the tone arm and set the anti-skating properly. I'm going to flip the table over. We'll put the base back on, and we'll set up the arm, and then we'll do a little sound test. Okay, we've got our table back together here. Get the base back on. Put the platter back on, platter mat. Got to say something about Yamaha branded platter mats, the gray. I like it. I think it looks sharp. And it's definitely distinctive. So anyway, let's see what she sounds like here. So with Yamahas, you push play first. Adjust your cueing. And there we go. Check auto return. Very nice. All right, guys, that's it. That's the last video for 2021. Hope you enjoyed the debut year of Turntable Guy. Hope you subscribe. I need some subscriptions. I'm at like 600 and pushing 700. I really want to get to that 1,000 mark, so I can maybe start putting out some more quality video, shall we say. Right now I'm just kind of doing it on a budget in between, when I have some time to do it. But yeah, if I can get over that 1,000 mark threshold, that would be awesome. So if you could, I usually don't like to do this, but if you could subscribe, I would really appreciate it. That would be awesome. I want to continue to thank you very much for tuning in and watching, whether you do it for entertainment purposes, whether you do it to learn something, or whether this helps you sleep at night, whatever it is. I thank you. I really appreciate it. Looking forward to some new turntables in 2022. Whatever comes through the door, I try to film it, unless it's absolutely mundane boring. But like I said, this is what I would consider to be mundane boring. There really was nothing wrong with it. And I think most people understand that to get speed issues taken care of, it's just a matter of cleaning pots. So anyway, again, Happy New Year, guys. Appreciate it. Take care. We'll see you in 2022. Bye.